You know, Michelle, as artists, we study the disciplines of drawing and of sculpting, and we look to the masters for inspiration.
What are you doing?
But what know we about the timeless mysteries of love?
What are you doing?
I'm doing a couple things.
Okay.
One, obviously, I'm inking my drawing of the creature from the Black Lagoon because Revenge of the Creature,
The first sequel.
was released 70 years ago this month.
70 years.
70 years.
So I guess we'll be talking about that.
Yeah, and that's the second thing I'm doing. Gabbing with you about that movie.
Okay.
And all that business at the beginning.
Yeah.
That's how scientists talk to each other in those creature
Yes.
movies. All of them.
Right?
They're always embroiled in chaos. There's a monster straight up slaughtering people.
It's a serious situation.
Yeah, but they always find 5 minutes to pull over to the side of the boat or the edge of the water.
Yeah.
And they're like, look, Helen, I know a prehistoric gill man just ripped 2 people to shreds. Maybe we could discuss it over dinner.
My God, is he smooth.
What do you say?
It's a great pickup line.
Oh, I know we could determine the age of the rocks the creature will eventually toss our broken bodies onto. But maybe if we made time for romance, it would all somehow make sense.
It's how it would be in the real world.
I assume.
I imagine scientists hit on each other constantly during monster attacks.
Because the scientists in Revenge of the Creature
Yeah.
go on 6 dates over a 2-day time span.
During the monster rampage.
During the monster rampage.
They did it in the movie Them, too.
Yeah.
With the giant ants.
Yeah, well, they do it in all those 50s horror movies.
Yeah.
The 50s were an unusually horny time in America, I believe.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Anyway, I'm inking the creature. I don't have a master plan here.
Okay.
I'm using a dip pen, I'm using a brush, I'm using fine liners, and later on, I'm going to throw a wash down onto it, but we'll just see how it turns out.
Okay.
And I'll list all the tools I use down in the info.
Good.
But let's talk about Revenge of the Creature on its 70th anniversary. 70-year-old spoilers incoming.
Yeah, despite 5 people losing their lives during the first expedition to find this creature.
In the first movie.
Yeah, a new team of scientists charter a boat to search for the monster again.
The same captain.
Yeah, same.
So he's aware of the carnage, but he takes the new crew into the Black Lagoon, and a truly vicious underwater battle with the monster ensues, nearly killing Joe, the hunky dive expert.
It's actually pretty scary.
Yeah.
The creature is terrifying.
Yeah, so they decide to lace the lagoon with dynamite, blow everything up, kill a bunch of fish, and put the creature into a coma.
Where he can be safely transported back from Brazil to Florida.
Yeah, and what is that? Just a couple thousand miles with a monster sleeping in the cargo hold?
Yeah.
That's easy.
Yeah.
Can't be any worse than editing this video.
I know.
We gotta stop screwing around.
Okay, let's get serious.
So, the first movie took place in that isolated lagoon in the Amazon.
Right.
But in the sequel, Revenge of the Creature, they shipped the creature to a theme park aquarium in Florida, not only to study, but to allow the public to view.
Yeah.
Like in a tank.
What could possibly go wrong?
Right?
If Jurassic Park taught me anything, things should go pretty smoothly.
You would think so.
Yes.
But no,
Oh.
they don't. They don't. They chain him to the bottom of the tank.
Oh, yeah.
They zap him with a cattle prod. They usher in a bunch of gawking tourists daily to tap on the glass. And, the inevitable occurs.
I think that's what I like most about this movie. The creature's got a larger pool of potential victims, and he goes wild.
Yeah, his attacks are absolutely savage.
Yes.
I think in the first movie, which we love,
We do, yeah.
he creeps up on people slowly. There's some slashing with the claws.
Right.
There's a head squish every once in a while, or the old grab him and pull him underwater maneuver. But this movie, there are just berserk underwater battles. He moves quicker.
Yes.
He throws a guy 30 feet into a tree.
Yes.
And at one point, he flips a car.
He seems really strong and scary in this one.
He is strong.
And I like seeing him in different environments.
Yeah.
Around people, inside buildings. He's not just a monster safely tucked away in a lagoon in the Amazon.
Right.
He's right here. And he's on the rampage.
Scary.
Yes. So far, you've used the fine liners, you've used the dip pen, you've used the brush.
Yeah. Just trying to figure a few things out.
Okay.
I'm looking for a way to depict his scales and his texture. But there's still a lot of area to cover.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do that with a wash. But first, I have to mix up a little wash. So, real quick, I'm using glass jars because they're a lot easier to clean than plastic.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm using distilled water because, ostensibly, distilled water contains fewer microbes than tap water. So there's less of a chance over time of microscopic creatures living in these tiny black lagoons.
And you're just adding different amounts of ink to each.
Yeah.
Is there a formula?
Not really. I just experiment and I test it on paper.
Okay.
And I use both cold press and hot press watercolor paper because sometimes it'll look a little different. Okay, so I want to talk more about the movie with you.
Okay.
But I should point out that doing this wash was mildly nerve-wracking for me.
Oh.
I knew I had to cover a lot of ground with the wash, and I knew the best way to brush on a cloudy underwater background was probably either a wide flat brush or a big mop brush. And as you know, I had neither.
Yeah, so we went out and grabbed a mop.
Yeah. And that's pretty good at cloudy amorphous washes.
Yeah.
But it's hard to control detail. So you can see me using my largest round brush to kind of rein in the mopped inks and get close to the creature's figure. And then I'm using the mop brush to rough up what the round brush is laying down.
Two-handed.
Yeah.
Ambidextrous now?
I mean, yeah, in the same way a child is ambidextrous when he's smearing finger paints around with both hands.
Okay.
I was really just trying to get the area covered without leaving too many harsh edges. Kind of moving quickly so it didn't dry weird.
Okay, right.
But also trying not to oversaturate the paper, which was hard to do, and I didn't want it buckling.
No.
I really wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, but I just kept going.
Good.
And after that layer dried, I just kept adding more inks and repeating the process. Okay, so quick recap. New team of scientists goes to the Amazon in search of the creature from the Black Lagoon, who, by the way, looks a little different this time out. His eyes are a little bulgy and weird.
Probably because Bud Westmore fired Millicent Patrick.
It's got to have something to do with it.
Her designs on the original creature were perfect.
Oh, they were genius.
And he took credit for those.
Yeah.
He's taking credit for the sequel version too, but that means those bug eyes are all on him.
Yeah, they're his fault. Okay, so after Bug Eyes attacks the crew, they blow him up with dynamite.
Oh my.
They kidnap him. They drag him back to Marine Land. They rough him up. They put him on display. He breaks his chains. And in the process of escaping into the ocean, he dispatches a few people.
Horrible.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
It's a tragedy, really. But I wasn't kidding when I said the scientists involved went on a bunch of dates while all this was happening.
Right.
They had lunch dates. They had dinner dates. They had diving dates, fishing net dates. They had boat dancing dates, club dancing dates.
That's all in 2 days.
2 days.
What's the body count at this point?
Rough estimate, I think 2.
Okay.
Both victims were close friends and colleagues of these people, but, I mean, you know, they'll bear up. They're going to be strong for each other.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm predicting a funeral date in the near future.
When did these scientists get any work done?
Oh, here and there. They do a lot of animal research, behavioral stuff. In fact, one of the people the male scientist worked with was a young Clinton Eastwood in his very first movie role as guy who walks around with a rat in his pocket.
That shows range.
Right?
That kid's going to be a big star someday.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Now, at some point, despite all this chaos, Helen, the ichthyologist, is getting ready for another night on the town with Professor Cleet Ferguson.
Cleet?
Cleet.
Is his name?
Cleet. Cleet, like what you tie ropes to on a boat, like the spikes on your shoe? Cleet.
Wow.
Earlier in the movie, she was pursued by Joe the diver.
Yes.
But the creature killed him. So Helen's pretty sure Cleet's her guy. The problem is, these two gentlemen aren't the only ones who want to cozy up to Helen.
Right?
The creature has been tracking her somehow along the coastline, and he shows up at her hotel where she's getting ready for the date. And here is where we find out that the creature, much like George McFly, is a peeping Tom.
People who haven't seen this movie would think you're making this all up.
I am absolutely making almost none of this up.
I know.
It's mostly true. So, on this outing, the scientists go to one of the hippest clubs on the pier, Cap'n Pappy's Low Tide Sandbar, catering exclusively to scientists and insurance salesmen.
Wow.
Suddenly, amidst the strong smell of Bengay and Aquanet, the creature rampages into the bar, his big bug eyes set on Helen. He kicks Cleet, picks up Helen, and flees.
The news reporter refers to her as a pretty young scientist.
Yeah, because even the news guy wanted to date with Helen.
Right?
Anyway, the creature grabs her, dives into the water, and then, as we say on the East Coast, it looks like we got a King Kong situation on our hands here, Chief.
Not good.
No, it ain't. All right, I'm getting close to finishing the image now. I'm using white inks to brush in some bubbles.
Nice.
And we're about at the end of the movie. I know this is a review.
Yeah.
But art is subjective.
Yep.
And the rating systems are kind of misleading.
Yes.
But on your own personal scale of 1 to 10, what do you rate Revenge of the Creature?
I've been thinking about this.
All right.
And I think I'm giving it a 5.5.
Okay.
I like it. It's not as good as the first one, but it's still fun to watch.
Yeah.
How about you?
I don't believe in a numbered rating system for art. And frankly, how dare you?
How dare I?
I sold you out.
Yes,
but
you
I
did.
like this movie. It's fun. I had
Yeah.
to watch it 4 times just to make this video.
Right.
And if I can sit through a movie 4 times, it's got to have something going for it.
That's true.
All right, let's see how the monster came out.
Okay. I like them.
Yeah.
And I like the way the water turned out.
Yeah. I give it about a 6. What? No rating from you? No. Not going to participate?
No.
Anyway, it's the 70th anniversary of Revenge of the Creature, and I wasn't going to let it go by without drawing something.
Yeah. I love it.
And I know that my drawing looks a lot like the creature from the first movie, but there is a verifiable difference. If you look closely enough, right there, like around his eyes, you can see he's a peeping Tom.
Oh, that
A
creep.
peeping Tom.
It's just creepy.
It's not creepy. It's not creepy, Michelle. It's love. I told you we know nothing about it.
Yeah, you're
We're
right.
too busy trying to figure out whether we should be using a flat brush or a mop brush. And rewatching 70-year-old movies 4 times in a row. Enough already. Tonight, I'm spending my evening relaxing.
Oh, good.
Outside.
Okay.
Your window.
Oh, my.
Watch for me.
Okay.